Welcome back to the channel. If you guys would like to see if primer pocket uniforming had any effect on my load development of the 140 grain ELD match with Reloder 16 in my Ruger precision rifle, stick around. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you want to learn what loads work best for me and the tools that I use to make my group smaller, subscribe to the channel and leave your feedback in the comment section below to help me and the rest of the community here improve our load development. Guys, in this week's video, we're going to be doing a video that's in direct contrast to the video we released last week. If you saw last week's video, you'll know that we did a load workup with Reloder 16 and the 140 grain ELD match projectile by Hornady. The difference between this week's video and last week's video is for this week's load development, we're going to directly contrast the same exact load that we loaded under the exact same lot of brass, and the only difference that we processed between these two lots was actually primer pocket uniforming. I'm going to preface this entire video as I'm not going to promise that your results won't vary. I certainly don't want you guys to think that I am telling you do or don't have to primer pocket uniform. I just thought it would be interesting to run a test to see if primer pocket uniforming in these cases actually had any distinct effect on the load testing that we had performed. Basically, we're going to do the same thing we did last week. We're going to compare the velocities and compare the load data just to see what happened. Now guys, just to review the load we tested, we reloaded the Hornady 140 grain ELD match, part number 26331. We used Alliant Reloder 16 from 40 grains to 43.5 grains. We used CCI number 250 large rifle magnum primers. And for both of these tests, we used the identical lot of Hornady brass. And like I already mentioned, 25 of the cases were primer pocket uniformed. 25 of them were left as they were stock from Hornady. The cartridge overall length that we used for today's load development was 2.852 inches. As I've done a little bit of primer pocket uniforming, if you guys haven't seen my primer pocket uniforming video, I'll put a card up to the screen if you guys want to go check that out to learn more about what that is. As I mentioned before, the estimated velocities for today's video were derived from two separate sources. One, Sierra's website for their 140 and 142 grain Sierra projectiles, as well as a load workup done in quick load. Getting right into the data, guys, the first set of data is going to be with the primer pocket uniformed. The second set under the same load is going to be the non-primer pocket uniformed. Starting off at 40 grains, our estimated velocity of 2594 or 2645. The primer pocket uniform gave us 2632, standard deviation of 9.3, extreme spread of 22, and a 1.339 MOA group. Moving to this non-primer pocket uniform, same estimated velocity. Our actual velocity achieved was 2629. Standard deviation of 9.2, extreme spread of 20, and a 0.976 MOA group. At 41.3 grains, 2670 feet per second, or 2720, our actual velocity was 2699, standard deviation of 8.1, extreme spread of 21, and a 1.03 MOA group. The same load with the stock primer pockets, same estimated velocities, achieved 2691 feet per second, standard deviation of 11.1, extreme spread of 28, and a 1.060 MOA group. Moving up to 42.5, the estimated velocity goes to 2741 or 2790. Our actual achieved velocity with our primer pocket uniform load was 2779, standard deviation of 20, extreme spread of 49, a 0.805 MOA group. With the same load conditions, our actual velocity achieved was 2784, standard deviation of 9.8, extreme spread of 25, and a 0.915 MOA group. At 43 grains, our estimated velocity went to 2770 or 2820. Actual achieved velocity on our primer pocket uniform group was 2818, standard deviation of 5.8, extreme spread of 14, and a 0.666 MOA group. Was the same estimated velocity. Actual velocity achieved was 2813, standard deviation of 15.4, extreme spread of 40, but a 0.673 MOA group. Going back to 43.5 grains, 2800 feet per second or 2848. Our actual achieved velocity was 2841. Standard deviation of 8.3, extreme spread of 18, and a 1.04 MOA group. Now going back to our stock primer pockets, same estimated velocity, actual achieved velocity was 2845, standard deviation of 6.1, extreme spread of 15, and a 1.059 MOA group. So guys, I would love to tell you that in all this data there's a definitive answer, but I'm really not certain that exists. Generically speaking, most of the loads in the standard primer pockets were slightly slower. However, I'm really not sure that a significant difference can be determined between the two loadings. Certainly some of the standard deviations on the primer pocket uniformed were better than the non-primer pocket uniformed. However, certainly not the case with the 42.5 grain or the 43.5 grain. Only the 42.5 grain was significantly different. So guys, the real answer is, did we really see any difference? And I have to say, not really. Maybe a little bit, but I think we would honestly need to shoot a much larger sample of possibly one single load, and maybe that would tell us whether or not we were really gaining any significant statistical advantage by primer pocket uniforming these cartridge cases. One thing that I do think is very interesting though, it made me feel a little bit better about the groups that I was shooting, since certainly how closely they trended each other. Obviously, under perfect circumstances, you would expect that, but certainly between the two groups, the 40 grain one was the only one that had a significant difference in group size, and Lord knows that could certainly have been me. For the record, I'm certainly not blaming the primer pocket uniforming for opening that group size up. So guys, what do you guys think in the comment section below? Were you interested in today's video? Did you think it was worthwhile? And what do you guys think of the results? Are you surprised? Are you not surprised? To be honest, I was really hoping that when I reloaded these, I was going to see a little bit more significantly different statistics. I will confess that I'd actually already shot the 140 grain RDF when I reloaded these. Since the statistics were so amazing on that load development, I was really hoping it was going to follow with this projectile, but it didn't quite become that good. Like I mentioned in the previous video, my rifle really has tended to like this projectile and it's performed fairly well. I certainly can't complain with the job that it's done for me so far. One of the other things that I really got out of this video is going back to that 43 grain load like I mentioned in last week's video. Certainly a load that seems to be well under 3/4 in MOA. Obviously, I would like to see the statistics on the primer pocket uniformed be the ones that came up, and certainly not the non-primer pocket uniform group. Tell me what you guys thought of this week's video down in the comments. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and turn on notifications so you get notified when I post a new video. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I certainly hope you liked it. Until next week, stay safe in small groups.